What is up, everyone? Welcome to the wrong side of the tracks. I'm your host, Ryan. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm super stoked for today's episode, guys. Not because I have anything uh, super important. Well, yeah, it is kind of important to me. Maybe not to you, but it's important to me. But I just have big feelings today. Not in a bad way, just a lot of stuff hitting me, a lot of stuff coming in, and I just want to try and unload it and get it off of my chest, right? So, thank you so much for joining me. I think you're in for a good episode. And to everybody who's been following, thank you, man. Thank you. Can't say that enough. All right, I'm going to try and not waste a whole bunch of time, and I'm going to try and dive right into this. Sorry. So yeah, I don't have any I'm not super excited because I have like one badass topic that I want to discuss with you today. I'm excited because I've just been getting flooded with thoughts, feelings, emotions, and underlying message to all of it that I think is like super important, especially for today's day and age, especially for all the people who are in the middle right now. And what I mean by in the middle is with this energetic shift that's coming, whatever, however you want to look at it, right? Call it whatever you want. It is becoming very evident that there is a few lines in the sand, if you will, being drawn. I don't really care for that. I wish it wasn't happening that way. But it has several times in history before, history seems to be repeating itself, right? And something very clear is happening. Um, how do I put this? Uh, there is one side of people that is, has their minds kind of made up on what they feel is coming or what they think it is. And the cool thing about this side is they're not sure what it is, but they think it's going to be great for everyone. Even if it gets shitty first, they think it's going to be great for everyone in the long run. They want everyone to be abundant and to prosper and to come out on top after this thing, right? And then there is a group of people that for some reason, and I don't know why, that's what we're going to discuss here. Maybe you guys got some, answers, ideas, thoughts that I'm not thinking of. I'm going to lay out what I think, obviously. But there's a group of, people that no matter what, they don't care. They want fear and chaos, and they want things to fall apart. Even if a thought, an idea, something else contradicts whatever, if there is facts and information that contradicts their beliefs or whatever, they don't give a shit. They they won't even look into it. They are literally the definition of ignorant and don't even care if you happen to be right. They just want fear and fucking chaos, right? And then there is a whole bunch of people in the middle right now that don't know what to think. They're fucking, they're looking this way, they're looking that way, they're trying to make heads or tails of the internet and AI and politics and the whole fucking world being on fire. They don't know where to look, right? So this message is to go out to those people, right? Because the people on the other side, the and here's the thing, I don't want to change anybody's perspective, even the people in the middle. I'm not trying to change perspectives. I don't want to change your mind. All these are my opinions, these are my thoughts, this is what I feel or believe. I'm just trying to lay it out there as like an eye opener, as a thought experiment, if you will. Something to think about and consider as you're making up your own mind and viewing things from your own perspective, right? Look, I even got my sour candy here for the ride. Like, we getting serious on this tonight. So yeah, this message is for them because I think those people in this year 2025, the age of truth, the deceit not being able to hide anymore, right? That's why this is the year of the snake. What do snakes do? Shed. they shed their old skin and make way for new, right? Because there is a lot of snakes in the grass right now. There is a lot of people purposely trying to confuse and muddy the water. You know, like when you first run into the river or something and you stir it all up and it's just chaotic. Oh, sorry. It's just chaotic mess everywhere, the muddy water. And then after you chill and calm down a little bit, everything settles and it's nice and peaceful. Yeah, we're going to try and do that through a thought experiment, through my opinions. And here's the thing, if you like this, great. Thumbs up it, follow it, spread it. I need all the help I can to share this message, guys. Like, I'm not some super huge channel or anything like that. I need your help. And if you feel like there's any value or substance here, please share it. And if not, that's cool too. Don't. Move along. There's other conversations to be had, man. Because yeah, I think in this age of truth, this year particularly is marking the starting point. The people in the middle are going to see that for some reason, the more loving and positive and just kind the people over here become, the more crazy and chaotic and fearful and visceral the other side becomes. It's literally insane to me. It's kind of amusing and funny to watch when you see things from my perspective. That being said, it's got to be crazy from somebody else's perspective seeing that. Like the old phrase, kill them with kindness. This is so true. You like when you start practicing some of these things and seeing things from an open mind perspective, you will see the more loving and kind you become, the more attacked you will get from that side. It makes no sense. It's literally mind blowing. Mind blowing. Here's the thing, guys. Let me go back to this. Messages and symbols and all that stuff things call out. I used to think that I would go get tattoos, right? Like, oh, I have a cool idea, I'm gonna go get a tattoo. And then through the process it changes, it kind of becomes something else, blah blah blah. It is what it is. It gets slapped on your skin. Fast forward till years later and starting to realize that there are no coincidences. Messages are all around us trying to wake us up and pull us out of this fucking subconscious slumber that we just go through life with. And you realize, oh, maybe like dreams are a deeper message, you know, from beyond. I think that's even a quote from the book Dune. Dreams are messages from the deep, right? Tattoos are the same way. To an extent, yeah, there's probably some crazy wild, like, here's the thing, guys, there's outliers in everything. Like, no matter what field or anything you discuss, there's the outliers. So yeah, there's probably the drunken, crazy tattoos that mean nothing and wild bets and this and that. That being said, most tattoos choose us. They choose us to try and wake us up if we wake up to that fact later on, seeing it every day on our own skin. Because if you get tattoos for the right reason, you don't get them for anybody else. You get them for yourself. Like, that's the thing. Like, I made up my mind when I was freaking 9 years old, when I first seen Hells Angels, bikers rolling through town and tattoos and this and that. But then I seen the way these big, scary, huge dudes conducted themselves. They were the most like kind, loving, gentle people ever, right? The townspeople loved them. The cops weren't afraid of them, this and that. Here's the thing. You can say whatever you want. Maybe they were putting on a front to try and hide their secret, sneaky stuff they were doing on the back end, because we all know what the Hells Angels have gotten busted for doing. Maybe. But as a 9-year-old kid, you don't see that. You just see what's in front of you. And they were not like what people were portraying them to be, right? You in the 90s, if you had freaking tattoos, dude, you were literally like stereotyped as like a loser or went to prison or on your way to prison. Like, let's just lay that out there. So the fact that I made up my mind then that I was getting them was like, okay, probably so they could answer a message later on. Anyways, that being said, tattoos on the knuckles right there. Love is God's gift, right? I want to just lay that out there before I get too deep into this, because amongst all this other shit you will hear discussed on this podcast and many other podcasts when it comes to spirituality and the laws of attraction and manifestation and fucking the whole world of that, right? Abraham Hicks, freaking quantum mechanics, freaking quantum entanglement, you name it. Um, oh my god, I'm losing my train of thought. Oh yeah, so amongst the whole world of that, right? I personally, my own opinion, everybody else can disagree with this if they want, I don't care. I think the universe only operates under one law. That's unconditional love. I think everything else falls out of unconditional love, right? No, I'm not saying the universe is unconditional love, right? Like, we'll kind of get to a little bit here. Like, I think the universe is consciousness. Like I said on the last episode, consciousness is the fucking thing. It's the thing running the show. It's what we swim in like a fish. We can't escape it because it is what is animating the skin suit. So, that being said, the only law that it follows, in my opinion, is unconditional love. Everything else, every experience, emotion, feeling, thought, imagination you can pull out of the human experience, I think is literally just a branch or a root of unconditional love or lack of unconditional love, right? So, we can try and get into why I think that makes sense through all this. But again, I don't know how this this episode is going to go and dictate itself because I have a ton of shit written down, but I don't want to just sit here and freaking da 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 and read off a phone the whole time. So I'm gonna kind of glance down. I'm gonna kind of, you know, whatever, grab an idea, a little thought packet that I had jotted down, and I'm gonna try and run with it, and we're gonna see if we can't tie it all together somehow or make it all make sense. Man, I got the candies, I got the chocolate milk. We're getting down on this episode. I don't know about y'all, but I have been in just like a chocolate milk freaking chocolate milk mood lately. Kind of funny and little side note before we get going. All this talk about energy and people talking about Mandela effects and timeline switches and timeline shifts and, you know, going into the, you know, a different universe or a timeline, blah, blah, blah. And then tying that to the chocolate milk craving. I think it's kind of funny, you guys, for anybody who has watched, man, I forget which Men in Black. I think it's like the newest one, so 3 or 4, whatever one it was, still kind of old, but the newest one. Anyways, as they freaking jump time, like that's the thing that fucking helps them get their bearings back is fucking chocolate milk. I just think that's kind of funny. All right, guys. So let's see. Where do we even start off? So this is going to be kind of a continuation of last episode. Not really a part 2, but along those lines of who was Jesus Christ? Who do you think he was? I'm going to lay out who I think he was or why I think he was or however you want to look at it, right? I'm going to give you my opinions and what I believe and all the things tied to that. And I'm literally just just asking the question, guys. Asking the question. Who do you think he was? And why and how do you come to that conclusion, right? I'm not like questioning you or interrogating you. Like those are just the questions I'm posing, right? Because I'm under the belief that a well-positioned question is actually the best answer we can receive, if that makes sense. We're always looking for answers, but then once we get answers, even if they are the correct fact answers, sometimes it serves us no purpose or we don't like it and we still discredit it and put it out of our reality because it just doesn't fit into our worldview model of whatever it is, right? So yeah, we're gonna try and make heads or tails out of some of these questions, because I think the right question asked the right way, no matter what the answer is, can literally like draw and pull things out of our mind, our subconscious, our imagination, the field, whatever you want to call it, that like boom, open your mind, like open your eyes, like, oh, whoa, the answer is so fucking evidently clear. I've been asking the wrong questions the whole time. Right? So we're going to see if we can try and do that. Because, god damn. Like I told you guys, sometimes when I freaking smoke the flower, I get freaking weird. Probably doesn't help out, like smoking flower plus chocolate milk, extra like freaking thick and phlegmy, whatever. That's such a gross word. I don't even like saying that. I don't know about you guys. Let me know what you think about that. The word phlegm. It's gross. All right. Anyways, part of what I consider myself to be good at, and even my human design kind of talks about this. For those of you who don't know what human design is, we're going to do a whole episode on human design. It's super fucking cool. It's like based solely on like astronomical alignment and the position of the universe based on the date and time, like the specific time you were born, like down to the minute you were born, where, and it's like it's the blueprint that all of us have been missing. Like, I don't know if you guys ever have listened to Sadhguru, but he talks about, and I guess maybe not talks about, but alludes to under his underlying message, that we've come ill-equipped to this earth, right? The way we're operating right now, as far as like we're operating the most sophisticated fucking piece of technology in the known universe, the Earth skin suit, and we don't use an owner's manual. Like, we literally just try to fucking bumper car our way through fucking life and hope we fucking get it right at the end. Here's the thing, I'm not saying any of us get it right or wrong. That's all for everybody to decide. But like, the blueprint is available to us. These are the secrets I'm trying to let out, right? Let out of the bag, because a lot of this shit is trying to make its way back to the surface again, like it has many times before through history, and it's trying to be extinguished like wildfire. It's crazy. Like, I'm literally witnessing in my own reality the shit that I have read about in other cultures or civilizations or time periods in history, even in this like our own fucking country. So I'm going to try and talk about all those. So anyways, guys, one of the things I think I'm kind of good at, because my and here's the thing, not because my human design says it, I'm good at this. The cool thing about human design is it doesn't tell you how to live your life. It's not like, oh, here, dummy, you live your life like this. No. You've been operating and living your life the way you have already without knowing this thing. What this does is now it makes heads or tails of your fucking situations. So now, like, you see right in front of you, oh, when I am in alignment and I'm feeling good, I do these things, and it's there, and it's like, whoa, okay, so how do I get into alignment? It's these ways. Oh, when I am feeling good, it is because I do certain things like that. Shit, okay, it makes heads or tails of it. And the same on the other side of the coin. It's like those times when you're feeling shitty and yucky and icky and you can't even explain it. It lays it all out when you're in, not living in alignment. It lays it out right there that like you're probably doing this or this or this or eating this way, and it's like, oh yeah, I am doing that. Crazy, right? So it's just a super cool blueprint on like what you're already doing, but now you can become conscious and aware of it, right? I'm going to use that word a lot, guys. And sorry for those who don't like the word consciousness, or don't fully understand it, but consciousness is just awareness of self, right? That is what it is at its like simplest form. We're going to pull many thoughts and theories and everything out of that, right? But I specifically, and here's the thing, I didn't know why then. I couldn't tell you when I was 16 years old, but now that I'm 36 and I look back at like, thing, it makes total sense. Um, when I was a freshman, sophomore in high school, I was obsessed with like Greek philosophy and the idea of consciousness. Like, so much so that literally, like, poetry, just, all the stories and life stories I could find on these guys, freaking Hippocrates, Socrates, freaking, oh man, I can't even think all off the top of my head, freaking, uh, Aurelius, freaking, you name it, like, just got like in Greek mythology, all the gods and goddesses, and just all, I was like obsessed with it, right? So much so to the point of like I didn't even understand why I was like obsessed with it. That one night, like to myself in my room, like I was just freaking staying up super late, freaking um I think YouTube was like, pretty new and coming out then, but Googling, just going crazy, staying up late, right? Trying to like look up this consciousness thing. And I literally, like, to myself, I was like, I'm done. I'm done with it. I'm not thinking about this consciousness shit anymore. Like, it's not happening. I'm not going to figure it out. None of the greatest minds in history have ever figured it out. Like, I'm fucking done with it, right? And then from that moment forward, I was like, went into my state of debauchery and finding myself in the military and fucking addiction and the whole 9 yards, right? To come full circle back to, hey, you're starting a podcast and it's like all foundationally rooted in consciousness, right? Because now the way I see it is that's what I was trying to get to as a 16-year-old kid and I couldn't understand. It's fucking everything. It's running the show, man. So, that being said, part of what I do really well, and I can't even explain this, like how or why, maybe, or not maybe, I think some of it has to do with like my ADHD that I have. If you guys have ever listened to Jordan Peterson talk when he, discusses, certain clients who were like hyper aware and hyper focused and, what the average person would call paranoid for whatever reason, because guess what? Marijuana does, they say, heighten your paranoia. Well, I believe what we call paranoia is just a heightened state of awareness. It literally just has you hyper vigilant and hyper aware, your head on a swivel, and you notice everything like cue markers and facial recognition. You notice patterns like they're going out of style, like, yeah, it's just fucking taking in like an insane amount of data points all at once, and instead of it just like going to the subconscious stream, you're literally tracking it like a fucking human uh computer, right? I mean, and maybe not like, I'm not saying like intelligent genius shit, like, no, just like fast tracking, right? So anyways, that being said, part of my personality, the ADHD, whatever it is, I'm really good at taking a lot of information from everywhere, literally from seemingly unrelated places. Like, we're talking quantum mechanics to spirituality, to the everyday Joe Schmo going to work at the grocery store trying to implement ice baths and breathing techniques into his personal experience, right? And everything in between, fucking politics, economy, um, geology, freaking archaeology, history, you language, psychedelics, you name it. I have a really keen sense of pulling all these unrelated topics together somehow and highlighting that golden thread that I talked about, that golden thread that flows through everything. It's like a fucking spider web, right? Like the World Wide Web, the universe, as above, so below. The entire earth, just below the surface, if you look, is what they call the mycelial network. It literally spans the globe, fucking corner to corner, mycelial network. If you look at this, they do like radio, radioactive color tracing, whatever the hell they call that, and they watch where this shit goes, and you look at that image, and it literally looks like an image of your brain and all the neurons and cells and connections and everything. And then when you blow that up to the, look at the fucking NASA pictures of the universe, it's the same thing. It's this connected web of fucking everything. Everything is connected, right? We do not see that because we see space and distance between us and this microphone. But the thing is, like, call it invisible air, call it gases, nitrogen, oxygen, fucking radon, whatever you want to call it quantum entanglement, however you want to look at it. We are connected to everything around us. Period, plain, end of story. And somehow and maybe I'm not good at it. Maybe I just fool myself, right? But I feel like I'm relatively good at connecting dots, right? So then people can step back and see the bigger picture. Oh, whoa, you can't take, you know, here's the thing, right? They always want to say, like, keep politics and religion out of school. Well, here's the thing: if you take politics and religion and all the connections that are made to that out of school, well, then you aren't teaching these kids anything, because everything is connected to that, right? Should it be the main area of focus? This is that. That's debatable. Let's put it that way. But everything is connected. Nothing is excluded, and that is one of my purposes, I believe, is to try, and in this age of truth, in this age of deception, is to try and just lay out the real life science, or real life facts from an everyday person. Because, no offense, we can listen to all the, like, super fucking educated genius, have 1,000 degrees under our belt people all we want, but no offense, at the end of the day, even with me, like, no offense, I'm a fucking dummy. A lot of that shit goes right over my head. They talk in such a way that it is, like, unrelatable to the common human, right? That being said, I am really good at filtering that through my fucking processing system, and then doing what I do with my spiritual techniques and breaking it down to a more simple, fucking digestible, easy to handle package, right? So if you like that kind of thing, then that is what this podcast and fucking my social media and everything that I do, that's, like, ultimately what I'm trying to do. If you aren't into that thing, if you like just, thinking one thing and not being open-minded, and it is this way and it's that way, like, maybe this podcast isn't for you, right? Because I am going to show the connection between everything, and then show why I think we may have our priorities kind of fucked up, as far as the shit we focus on, the shit we don't focus on, how we treat people, how we don't, like, just a whole fucking laundry list of shit, right? Like, that I think once these things are laid out in a way that we see, like, oh man, all of them are fucking so connected, and the waters are really muddy right now, like, intentionally fucking muddy, like a whole bunch of kids just ran into the fucking edge of the lake purposely to muddy the edge of the water. And some of us are literally just trying to not be fucking crazy, literally just try and ask everybody, hey, can we calm down just for a minute? If everybody stops moving just for 1 minute, the chaos will settle and we can see things for what they are. But when we're trying to see shit through the chaos, it gets really hard. And that's how these snakes in the grass have gotten into the positions they've gotten in, because our data processing centers have been on subconscious mode for the last fucking few years. Let's just call it fucking 20 years at least. But they've been on subconscious mode, just fucking, taking in all this data points, but literally neglecting 99% of them and focusing on fucking one data point at a time. And usually that data point is not the fucking thing we should be focusing on, like survival and slaving away and working a job that you hate for somebody that you hate even more. Again, I'm not saying anything about work. I love work, and I think that when we get on the right page, people are going to want to work like crazy because they're actually going to be working and doing the things that fulfill them on the inside, not try and fulfill some other guy's pocketbooks. So, like, the level of production is going to go through the fucking roof. Again, some of the boomers out there probably already, I hear them like growling through the screen. Yeah, whatever, just a bunch of lazy, like, welfare, just want to take off the system, blah, 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 blah. You never hear the end of it, right? Here's the thing. Again, like I said, not saying there isn't going to be outliers, just like in this system that we have now. And there's, no matter what you do, right? The people that do not want to participate in the system for whatever reason, that's their own thing, right? That is going to happen no matter what. No matter what the system is, those people are going to exist. I think that once the system is a little more focused on energetic exchange, skills, value, knowledge, wisdom, growth, evolution, and equal exchange, symbiotic, everybody rising together. So many people are going to want to work. It's not even going to be funny because working is like part of what fulfills spirit. It's crazy. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that or don't believe that, but working is part of our evolutionary like expansion and growth. Working is subjective, can be classified under many things. So we've got to like change the way we view things about like, oh, people don't want to work, this, that. Like, people do want to work. I guarantee you that most people do want to work. They just do not want to work in the broken ass systems that we are trying to fucking operate, man. So as soon as some systems get changed, yeah, we'll be there. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to do today. Is, and always through this podcast, is connect the dots between the seemingly unrelated shit in the world, because then once you see how they're related, then some of these things start seeming not so far-fetched, right? The science fiction becomes reality because you see that we've just been oblivious to the fact that everything we thought we were going to experience back in the 90s. Like, here's the thing, I want to go off topic a little bit here, but I know anybody listen to this that's like me, that was growing up in the 90s. You have to be out of your fucking mind if you tell me you didn't think by now we were going to be living in an episode of the Jetsons. I'm just saying, like, everybody had that fucking idea from like what we were learning in school about fucking cloning. Like, that was when I was in second grade. They cloned Dolly when I was in fucking second grade, dude, or first grade. It was like super long ago. Um, like levitation, hovering technology, direct energy, like you name it, like all of these things were being worked on and practiced and toiled with in the 90s, so much so that like there was a reason why all the sci-fi movies were going the way they were, because the energy was like, man, we're going to be doing some crazy shit in like 30 years. And then for some reason we went in this like subconscious programming to delay the inevitable, the awakening process. And now it's just bursting at the fucking seams. You can't close the dam anymore. It's fucking everywhere, right? It's fucking coming out. And I believe that, some of us can help the ones in the middle, connect some of the dots and see like, oh shit, yeah, what you guys have been saying forever isn't fucking crazy, right? I mean, it might be crazy, but that's only because fucking truth is stranger than fiction. But it's not crazy as far as like, oh, these guys are like loony bins and talking out their ass. Like, no, these people are fucking talking some real life experience shit. Even if they don't understand why or what's going on, they're about it, right? Real recognize real right now. I'm just gonna say that. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think that like literally by just explaining my opinion and my thought and asking questions and trying to see what you all think about it, the ones who are blatantly doing what I'm saying, like trying to demonize this shit, they'll be so clear that it'll help y'all in the middle be like, oh, whoa, maybe he is like spitting a little bit of truth, because he's not doing anything harmful, negative, mean, judgmental. anything, however you want to look at it, I'm not doing it. I'm telling you right now, my intention is love. Everything I do is with love. And all of these things are my opinions and my thoughts. Literally, flat out saying, I do not want any um, clones, copies, or mimics of my beliefs out there into somebody else. No, I don't want that. I want to hear what you think and believe and why. Because guess what? When my experience meets your experience, and now we mesh these two universes, right? And it becomes this multiverse, just like a Venn diagram, right? Then we'll probably see that, oh, the 2% of difference we have is whatever. We're like 98% the same. And our beliefs directly reflect that. Do we just, the 2%, we call them something different, right? That's all I'm trying to lay out there. Literally, just like education, however you want to look at it, man. Like, since today's topic is going to be on Christ, just like Christ said, like, I think it was in Luke. I'll look up the scriptures for the fact checkers out there, but get you in the direction. Luke, judge a tree by its fruit. Plain and simple, judge a tree by its fruit. Is the tree fucking bearing positive, loving, helpful fruit that no matter what, even if they were down to their last dollar, they would freaking do whatever they could to help somebody else before they help themselves? Is that the fruit that the tree is bearing? Or is the tree bearing deceptive, negative, forceful, try and harm everything that comes in its path, and is only focused on the self, and only the self, and how the self can manipulate every situation to better itself? Um, yeah, is that the message coming out of it, right? And I think it'll just become very clear, right? When I'm just doing my thing, and y'all are gonna watch the warlocks, the real witches and warlocks come out of the woodworks, man. I can already hear it now, because this shouldn't even be a controversial episode, but I'm slightly, dragging my feet and delaying it because I know it's gonna trigger so many people, and I don't know why. Here's the thing: I'm not, like, when I ask this question that we're gonna get going on, like, who was Jesus? Like, who was he to you? And like, why do you think that? I'm not asking that to attack your beliefs. I'm not asking that to like question your beliefs, like, oh, you think that, haha, you're crazy. No, not at all. I'm asking that from a genuine position of curiosity, um, so I can see, does our experience have any relatable thing to it at all that I can do my thing on, that I said, can I connect a golden thread to our experiences at all? Or are they unrelated, in which case we can agree to disagree? You're probably not going to persuade me. I'm probably not going to persuade you. And that is not the intention of an intelligent conversation. The intention of an intelligent conversation is to hear your standpoint, you hear my standpoint, a better understanding comes out of it, not an agreement, a better understanding comes out of it, and both parties symbiotically prosper and benefit from that energetic exchange, right? Not one person was right, one person was wrong, one person above the other, one person here, haha, like, I made you think that. No, there's none of that. There's no competition in an intelligent conversation. It is literally, okay, agree to disagree, move on, right? Growth, understanding, evolution. Like, it's not fucking hard, man, but again, I'm sorry, I got big feelings today. So, yeah, guys, let's see if there's any other points that I wanted to make out. Oh yeah, so talking about connecting the dots, guys. Like you guys have heard me mention in a previous episode, Don Hoffman. Damn, I forget what he is. I don't remember if he's like a computational biologist or a theoretical biologist or evolutionary biologist. I'm not sure. Something along those lines. Sorry, Dr. Hoffman, for butchering it. That being said, Go check his shit out. Brilliant dude. If you go listen to him and get even just a baseline understanding of what he thinks about everything being a conscious agent, from a single bit conscious agent to two single bit conscious agents coming together, creating, a 2-bit conscious agent, blah, 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 fast forward all the way up until you get a human being, a super complex fucking 8 trillion bit conscious agent fucking machine, right? Uh, yeah. So, anyways, if you go listen to him and kind of get a baseline understanding of what he's saying, and then you go listen to the new episode, I guess it might not be new by now, but new as of like yesterday, episode of Joe Rogan with Thomas Campbell, and listen to him try to explain his big toe, his theory of everything, you will start to come to an understanding, I think, um, of how I sort of view things, right? How my world model and belief system is kind of based off of. And here's the thing, I wouldn't have been able to articulate it or explain it the way I do now without hearing the way they do. That being said, I totally thought and had those feelings and beliefs and said it in my own way before ever hearing about those guys, right? But then that's the awesome thing about learning from other people and hearing their view and their perspective and their experience with it, because then it can we find that relationship, right, between our uh, commonalities, and it literally just clicks like, oh, this is what I've been trying to explain to myself the whole time, but I lacked the understanding, the words, the correct terminology or viewpoint or whatever it is from it, and this just helped me out. So that is part of the reason for doing this podcast. If anybody's like, why the hell is this guy even doing a podcast? Freaking no guests, like we can hear all these things on other podcasts, blah blah blah. Like, I just like a good brainstorming session. Hearing things from other people spark ideas and thought forms in our mind that wouldn't have been there otherwise had we not interacted in that situation. Right? So, yeah, that's a good connection there. If you got, and those are two big, powerful dudes. So, buckle up and get ready for a good week worth of listening and research and diving into those two guys to try and even get a bite-sized piece of what they're saying. But through several psychedelic explorations, meditations, and 2.5 years of being a Reiki practitioner, and 36 years of struggling and trying to dissect religion as a whole. Yeah, this is what I've come to, and maybe it'll help y'all try and make heads or tails or sense of it. If not, at least understand me a little better, and then you'll see why I'm doing this in the future. Because if you understand me a little better and go off that Jesus quote I said, judge a tree by its fruit, you'll see that for some reason, and again, this isn't trying to toot my own horn, because I wish it wasn't happening. It's happened my whole fucking life. Again, didn't know why then, but now I get it and understand why. I'm gonna be attacked and bombarded and just hated and ridiculed for everything that I say and do on this podcast. And not by everyone, and not by the normal people, the real recognize real. But just buckle up and get ready, because y'all are gonna see some fucking snakes rear their heads up out of the grass and try and attack this and me and whatever it is I do. Whatever I do, solely on the fact of kindness. Literally, I'm gonna be super kind, and I don't know, helpful and informational. Try and be informational, right? Take it or leave it. And so, not harming or doing anybody, but there is a group and a force out there that for some reason wants to silence me, always has, and not just me, many others like me, right? I can just only speak from my experience, and it's crazy. It actually feels kind of freaking cool, like knowing I'm just like, literally, I'm nobody. I'm nobody. Like, not. I got like a freaking 100 followers on Instagram, dude. I got like, I don't even know how to say it. Like, nobody in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, I'm on the radar of, let's just call it what it is. Higher up should be religious men um, spewing hate and visceral about me, like, and what I do with no understanding. Here's the thing: I don't even know this person, right? But the the source is 100% trustworthy. Again, my intuition and this and that, but things have come to me and just made things very clear. What I had already been thinking and feeling is that there is a force out there that for some reason does not want me to try and do and teach you and tell you guys the things that I'm gonna fucking tell you for whatever reason, which I don't know why, because they're already all out there. These things are already out there all over the fucking internet, all over the world, all over in your day to day life. They're everywhere, right? I'm just the guy here to say, hey, open your guys' eyes up. It's everywhere, right? It's not the crazy thing. People are the crazy thing. Fucking people are the crazy thing. Right. And I don't say that in a mean, judgmental way. I love people. I'm on the side of humanity. I want all 8 billion plus of us to prosper and be abundant. But for some reason, there's other people out there that don't want that. That idea for everybody to have a piece of the whole is just too fucking asinine for some people to handle. And they can't handle it. They got to try and control it. So it's crazy. But we're going to get into that, right? Let's see. I'm all over the board here. Um, yeah, guys, and another thing why I do what I do, um, I swear we're gonna maybe get into it. We're gonna get into the conversation that I said we're gonna have, but I think these are all important too. I think these are all very important because I think these are traits and characteristics that are in a lot of you, and I think they've been silenced and hushed and we've been taught to like hide them or put them away to not scare people or not be judged by um the people around us. And yeah, no more. We've gotten to this position we're at in society as a whole from doing that. So no more. It is time for everyone who is feeling big feelings like me and who has something to say to now start talking and letting people know. And real recognize real right now, because like I said, there's a lot of deception, right? And this shit started last year in the celebrity world when Cat Williams broke the news that things aren't as they appear. Then you see Terrence Howard come out of the woodworks and get harassed by everybody around. Here's the thing: whether the guy's like new science or mathematic is like correct or not correct, beyond the point. Why is him doing his thing such a threat to the system? Right? He's an actor. He's not. Who cares what he says? Right? Let him do his thing. Oh, but for some reason, it's way more important to shut these people up. Right? So, yeah. That being said, I think one of my missions, right? I feel like I have this kind of whole encompassing mission. Why I feel like I came to Earth. Why my fucking mission to come here in the Earth suit, right? And play around and have fun. I had a whole list of shit I wanted to do, right? Because that is what life is about, is experience, growth, evolution. Plain and simple. Information, knowledge, data. That's what we're doing here. And yeah, one thing that I feel like I, wanted to do in my mission was I wanted to help people feel good. Plain and simple. Like the good book says, like the Bible says, anything that's worth fucking teaching should be simple. That's as simple as it gets. I personally hate that we have to go through all of this spiritual woo woo, quantum mechanical, freaking quantum entanglement, uh, craziness of a world, just to get to the underlying foundation that we are all looking for the same thing. At the end of the day, we all want to feel good in our own body, in our own skin suit, period, plain and simple. We want to feel good in it emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. We want to feel good in it. And then guess what? When we feel good in the skin suit, when we feel our best, like you wake up and you feel like $1,000,000, guess what you want to do? I'm just guessing. This is what I want to do. You want to make everybody else feel like that because it feels fucking good. You see how much people are complaining and miserable and in pain and, eating stuff that makes them feel not good, whatever it is, right? All of these freaking things. And here, I'm not judging or saying, yeah, obviously, fucking smoke. I got a pouch in right now. I'm not saying anything about the things you're doing. I'm saying when we feel good in our own fucking skin suit, it feels good. And we want to bring that to everybody else. It's like, hey, I figured out a way to feel good in the fucking suit. Do you want to know how? Because guess what? I was uncomfortable in the suit for a long fucking time and even still get uncomfortable in the suit sometimes. So I know how uncomfortable it can be. It's fucking crazy. This is why we have things like anxiety, depression, mental health, like the list goes on and on. People do not feel comfortable in the fucking earth suit right now, right? Like we do not feel good in it. That's why I've said before, solitary confinement's the worst thing you could do to like a violent criminal. Why? Because we don't want to be by ourselves. We don't want to sit in the fucking suit by ourselves and just think about how uncomfortable we feel in the suit. Period. End of story, right? So back to what I was saying. Part of my goal is to try and help people feel good, right? Period. End of story. Like, that is what we are all trying to do. Take all religion, politics, freaking career, take everything out of the picture. If none of that stuff existed, right, and all we had to do is live, well, then the first thing that would come to your mind is, well, I want to feel good. I don't want to wake up every day feeling like shit. I don't want to wake up every day, have anxiety, have depression, have negative looping thoughts, fucking self-hatred. I don't want to be in pain and miserable and complain like I'm 80 years old when I'm fucking 30. Like, that would be a major priority in your life, and you would figure out whatever it was to do to not feel like that, right? That is what I believe we're all searching for. Again, take all religion, everything out of it. I think we are all trying to feel good mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually in the skin suit. And when we do that, we want to share it with others because it feels good. And again, we know how uncomfortable it is. So we don't want people to be uncomfortable. We want to help them, right? For some reason, there is people out there that want you to be uncomfortable in the skin suit. They want you to hate it. They want you to crawl out of your skin for some reason every fucking day. They want to put you on medications that dull your mind so you don't think about being alone. They want to put you on fucking medications that speed you up and jack you up, fucking Adderalls, like focus you, right? They want to like numb it with fucking alcohol, right? We could get into the topic all day, alcohol and marijuana. I think they're nothing alike, high vibe, low vibe, whatever we could go. Not saying there isn't spirits that can be good, but that being said, they want you, whatever, whoever they are. Here, I'm not even trying to label the they, right? This force, these people, they want you to be uncomfortable in your skin because you being uncomfortable in your skin is profit and power for them. The more uncomfortable in your skin you are, the more medication you'll try and buy, the more alcohol you'll try and buy, the more overtime you'll try and work, the more fucking electronics and vacations and every mind-numbing thing you can think of to get away and escape from the fact that you don't feel good in your skin. They fucking love it. It thrives off of uncomfortability in the skin suit. Man, it's a fucking quadrillion dollar market selling fake ass snake oil remedies to try and make you feel better in your body because they know that's all anybody wants to do is feel good in their body, right? So again, I hate, and don't get me wrong, I love talking spirituality and Hinduism and gods and mysticism. I love it. It's like my area of fucking interest. Like how some people love freaking UFOs, or some people love, I don't know, electronics or whatever, right? Like I love spirituality and the occult, esoteric knowledge, hidden wisdom. Like that is like my shit. I just love it. That being said, if we could bypass all of that, I would do it in a heartbeat because my message is simple. I felt uncomfortable in the fucking earth suit for a long time. I was uncomfortable being me, whatever, with addictions, you name it. I apparently hated myself, and I had thoughts that hated myself. I did not want to be in the earth suit. I did whatever I could to not feel how I felt in the fucking suit, right? So part of going to that end of the spectrum is I don't want anybody else to have to go through that, right? Not saying you guys aren't. A lot of people probably are and have been there and probably way worse off than me, right? The fact I'm trying to make is I do understand what you're feeling and the uncomfortability in the skin suit and the not knowing and the questioning and the wondering and the just all the shit, right? So I made it my mission to go on a never ending quest to find out the fucking truth to these things. Why have they been popping up over and over and over throughout fucking history every single time to try and help people feel better about themselves internally, and for some reason it's always fucking met with an opposition on the outside, demonizing it, telling people not to do it. Like literally freaking one of the, well, there you could just literally find this throughout history, but again, I know this one really well because it was like the the religion that I was up brought in, and so I did a lot more research on that back end. But in the early 1800s in this country, there was a fucking spiritual awakening happening like crazy. People, like I said, all over the place were experiencing supernatural, crazy, amazing things, right? And I'm not saying it was at the same time, but that part of the country, because that's where all the fucking people were. We weren't fucking out west yet, right? Or not like, yeah, civilized out west. So the main population was back there. So that's where the fucking main projection's going to be. But that being said, in the same vicinity, I think it was even like within like 100-mile radius, two different time, years, but same fucking radius. George Washington had his fucking, you could call it alien encounter out there in the fucking woods. Joseph Smith has his alien encounter that fucking tells him his shit, right? And there was many others that are lost to history or just not discussed. Um but here's the main point to that is for some reason all of these people were jailed, criminalized, shut up, converted, or shot, dead, unalived, um, by what were supposed to be the I mean, for the lack of a better word, the Christian, the mainstream religion at the time, whatever it was. That's why I use Christian in quotes, because I don't know exactly which sects, freaking Baptist, Catholic, how many different freaking shoots, freaking Presbyterian, dude. It just, you can't even keep up with them all, right? You can't even keep up with them all. But why the mainstream like should be the most, you know, um, how do you even say that? They should be the ones like being observed as a freaking a role model. Like you should be the ones that we're trying to, be like. You guys are super holy and connected and receiving all this revelation and beautiful connection to preach to your congregation. that's what we should all be striving to do, right? Like that we should be trying to strive for better and better, whoever's like being the best person, right? So if the supposed best men of the time, um, you know, really were, I don't know, practicing what they preach, why were they demonizing everything? Because this shit isn't new, guys. Like tarot cards, fucking energy healing, breathing techniques, meditation, yoga, um, plant medicines, dude. Like it goes on and on. Psychic abilities, mediums, freaking talking to uh, past loved ones. All of these things are older than fuck. They're so old. They've been used forever, right? Like it's not even worth tracing the fucking dates back on them. Yes, maybe it wasn't a fucking a Rider-Waite Smith tarot deck or whatever. But cards with symbolism representing astrological alignments, fucking pattern recognition, positioning, cycles. That's all these fucking things are, right? So here's the thing. Since the beginning of fucking time, man. Like, yeah, okay, again, fact checker, sorry, I can't give you a reference on this, but I just feel pretty confident that since the beginning of time, mankind thinking time, right? Not, we can get into the whole freaking created, evolved, blah 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 blah. But since the first moment when man started actually having conscious thoughts, right? Soon after language formed, all of that shit, right? Thoughts were definitely the first thing to come online, right? Before the freaking rut, rut, rut sound and the fucking tool making and the movement and all that shit. Thoughts were definitely the first tool to come online. Um, and I think the first thoughts, like since the beginning of time, have been, what the hell are we doing here? What am I? What is this? What the fuck is going on, right? The big, doesn't matter how you word it, right? Like, whoa, the spark, the what the fuck is going on? Everything else will soon follow. Language, civilizations, history, um, creation of tools and everything, all of that will soon follow. But the thought, right, first came in. What the fuck is going on? What are we doing? What's happening, right? Um, that being said, starting in that moment with the first tools that were built to the first things trying to be learned, I think at that moment it has been a never ending quest to figure that out, right? The last 20 years of this subconscious shit that I was talking about, this period that we went into, yeah, that thought kind of was like stifled and fucking hid under the rug and like put aside like it isn't an area of focus or something. But no, it's the only focus. Like it should be, okay, maybe it shouldn't be the only focus, but it should be the top of the focus. Like I don't care if you're a freaking grocery store clerk, if you're a doctor, if you're a philosopher, if you're a freaking educator, or you're a fucking hydroelectric maintenance worker. I think the first thought on every person's mind, want, goal, um, their bucket list should be to try and figure out what is going on, right? Now, that said, I'm not saying we're going to figure it out. I'm not even saying we're meant to figure it out. I'm not saying that's the only thing we should focus on, but that should be the first thought on our mind every single day. So then, no matter what it is we do, we are able to seize the opportunity if a bit of information comes into that then gets us closer to that answer, right? Of what's going on. Again, I don't care if you're an engineer, you're an archaeologist, or you're an educator, whatever it is. Our overall, like, common goal of everybody, what is going on? Who are we? What is our fucking position in the universe? And not like geographically our position of the fucking Milky Way and the Earth. I mean, like, what is it about humans that is even important, right? Like, in all of our fucking our tales and our folklore and whatever you have, like, we create all these fucking fantasy worlds. Maybe they're real worlds, maybe it's the multiverse, it doesn't matter. But spiritual beings, giants, fucking 200 feet tall, freaking the craziest technology, godlike technology, Thanos, just fucking the Infinity Stone like glove, literally, with a world of possibilities like that. Why are humans even important in that? What is our role? What are we doing, right? That is, like, again, what I think everybody should have on their mind first and foremost every day. Then go about your day, and as you're doing your thing, maybe with that thought on your mind, even if you're working, freaking shoveling manure, you might get hit with the right fucking turd that goes like, oh, whoa, we're just like that. Right? Whatever it is. But I think if we have that question posed in the back of our mind, then no matter what we do, things, we can then be ready for the opportunity to grab that bit of data, that piece of information as it comes our way, right? Because everything is like a river. It's fucking flowing, right? We don't see that, we don't understand that fully, or it's hard to comprehend, but everything is constantly moving. It's a stream. This is how, like, the laws of attraction and all that shit, manifestation work, because it is like already fucking coming and going. It's flowing. It's just a matter of, you know, timing and frequency and vibration and all of that shit, right? So, yeah, let's see. Oh yeah. Dang, what? Oh man, I'm an hour into this and I got started. Well, I guess technically I am kind of getting on that. I always like kick myself in the ass because I feel like I'm spacey or all over the place, but realistically, all these thoughts and opinions, these kind of tie into, yeah, how I found Christ and my relationship with him and this and that. So yeah, maybe I shouldn't feel bad. And two, for anybody out there like giving me a hard time for being spacey or losing myself, let me see you talk to yourself fucking for 2 hours straight without a brain farting, right? If I had a co-host here, somebody next to me that I could brainstorm and spitball these fucking ideas off with, well, then they could keep me on track. If I Oh, what were we talking about? We were talking about, oh yeah, that's right. And I wouldn't have to try and fucking think and look like a dummy and yeah, the whole 9 yards. So guest spots. People hit me up. Let's talk about some cool shit. But yeah, guys, one of the, reasons for the big feelings and everything today is because, like, especially the more and more this spiritual shit comes out, I am getting super frustrated with the holier than thou message that's coming out. And it's not only from the spiritual community. There is a lot in the spiritual community, but just the religious community, the super judgmental communities. There is this like holier than thou thing going on right now, and what I mean by that is, there again, that certain group of people are trying to somehow say their way of connecting to the divine, the way they do things, their religion, their practice, their set of beliefs is the one and only way to connect to the divine. All these other ways are blasphemy, evil, crazy, however you want to look at it, just demonize it. That's the evilness. And it is like, it's super frustrating amongst all other things, but it's like, man, it makes you realize more than ever, again, why Christ said what he said towards the end. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. Um, because, and here's the thing, there's probably two, even in that camp of people doing that, there's probably two types of people. There's probably the type that, doesn't really understand why they're just doing it because everybody else around them is doing it, right? They're just kind of like following the crowd psychology. They've done studies on this. This is how freaking uh Hitler was able to get away with what he was, and all the guards just, oh, we were just doing what we were told throughout any horrible atrocity throughout history. Oh, we were just doing what we were told, the freaking mob psychology thing, right? So there is some people just doing that. They just don't even know why they're attacking it. They're just attacking it because it's the thing to do and they've never experienced it. And so fuck it, right? Just attack it. But then there is a group amongst those that they know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing as far as from their standpoint. They don't know anything about some of the things they're talking crap about. They're literally demonizing it based on misunderstanding and or lack of understanding, right? Just like I say, and fucking, I didn't say, not me. Oh, sorry, I did not even mean that. Just like the good book, just like the Bible says in Hosea 4:6, for thee have rejected knowledge, I will reject thee. Like for lack of knowledge, right? Some of these people, they've never experienced that shit, so they don't know anything that it's about, and then they still purposely demonize it, trying to steer people away and not do that. I don't know if you guys like know anything, but in the Bible, when Christ would literally go into churches, destroying them and flipping tables, um, his main beef wasn't with the people in the church. His main beef was with the Philistines, or whatever you want to call it, the church leaders. And that is why he even basically said, again, I can't remember the freaking area of scripture, but just go Google it. It'll get you freaking right on. Basically condemning the leaders for knowingly steering their congregations in the wrong path. Meaning, like, here's the thing. I'm not saying every freaking church leader, around here or in the world for that matter, knows exactly what can be done with tarot, breath work, yoga, energy work, this and that. No, maybe they don't. Like, that's what I'm getting at. They probably have not even the faintest clue. So what they should be telling people is, I don't know. The Bible actually alludes to some of those things, not all of those things. Astrology, different things, plant medicines, herbs, definitely talking about a bunch of magical shit in there, like mana and giants and shit. So we have that aspect of it. But yeah, that's what they should be telling people. They should be telling people, I don't know, it's not discussed in there. And just because it's not discussed, and guess what? There's a whole bunch of stuff not discussed in the Bible that isn't also bad, right? Again, sorry to burst anyone's bubbles. It's gonna hurt some people's feelings, but how do I say this so people understand it? Life, I don't know how to say this. Life has no meaning. That isn't negative. That's not saying like, oh, life is meaningless, do whatever you want. No, 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 no. Life has no meaning, as in, we give it meaning. We give it its moral fiber. We give everything in life a purpose or whatever it is, right? It is not born, created, grown with a purpose, right? The purpose is determined by the energetic exchange put in from the user, right? Just like if you have a computer, you could look up How do I help save the world? Great thing, right? And you could use the tool for that. Or you could use the computer to, how do I build a freaking something crazy and devastating, right? The energy that's put into it based on the user, not the computer. The computer isn't bad. The computer has all things in it, right? The energy that is directed towards it gives it its purpose. That is what life is and the meaning, right? It's like the meaning of life is there is no meaning. You give it the meaning, right? What is it? A paradox. That being said, guys, everything. God, I have to like state this because you cannot separate these things. They're not two separate things. Like this torch right here, I can literally just light some Palo Santo incense, with the intention of all the great cultures that have used this and honoring Mother Earth. Like it's all ethically sourced off trees that are already fallen and dead. So no harming in the making of it, right? You could use that flame to light that and think about all those positive things as I do it and make this room smell good. Or I could go over and I could light the wall on fire and set this house on fire, right? It is the intention, the energy of the user that gives the meaning, the morality, the fucking integral fibers of the thing, right? So, yeah, that said, guys, everything is the same. Like the cops, you guys agree that cops are good, right? Well, here's the thing: cops could be bad. Like cops could be used to go out and round up the opposite, all the people who are doing good and paying their taxes and following the speed limit and you know, whatever it is, using their blinker, they could go out and arrest all of those people, and then that would be like a moral negative. That would be like, why are we doing this? Why are we punishing people for acting accordingly, right? Or you could use the cops like we use them and try to um collect or whatever, however you want to look at it, the bad guys, the ones, the negative energies, the ones doing things that seemingly harm other people around them with no forethought about anyone else but themselves, right? And if we use the cops to try and get these people, well, then it's a good thing, right? Everything can be looked at this way. Man, I cannot like stress that. It's so evident to me that it seems so, I'm like so confused that is not that evident to somebody else. And so like I say that, like again example I'm getting at, so like tarot cards right here, freaking holy macalones, dude. Like seriously, where do I even get started? It's like it's almost kind of fucking comical at this point. It's like it's freaking comical, man. They're cards. They are fucking playing cards, dude. Like holy banana let me see this. Like look at this. These are playing cards, y'all, with fucking cool pictures, cool artwork on them that have like beautiful artwork and symbols and everything throughout history that mean positive good things. Like damn, there's fucking rainbows and crowns and flowers and life and meaning and emotions and like creation. It is literally just a story of pictures on cards, dude. At the end of the day, here's the thing: just like anything out there in the world, somebody can use good intention to say, hey, can I use these cards to help make sense of my situation going on or somebody else's situation if they're wanting a reading? Can I use these cards with all the cool pictures that are already connecting to different emotions and thoughts and feelings and ideas? They're already pictured there, right? So just like We like to make people feel good. Can I use these cards to make this person feel good about their situation? Can I tell a story in 3 cards, 3 random cards that come up in this person's presence, whether you want to think they're real or not, or who's doing it, this and that? Can I pull 3 cards out that through the pictures I can explain a story of their past, present, and future, or how they can operate, or what they can look for, or how they can connect to the divine, or whatever it is, how they can become a better person. And that's the only intention put into there, right? The person doing it might even be super religious, right? Might pray to Jesus every night. Oh man, I cannot freaking stress that enough. And then they do that with their intention like that, right? There's nothing wrong with that at all. Like, sorry to say it. I don't care how you look at it. I don't care how many ways from fucking Sunday you try and say that is evil. It's not. It's just not. It's not. It's cards. It's fucking not. Gosh, this is why I have big feelings, because it's like the fucking nonsense is getting asinine. Another one, so another one, yoga. Yoga, dude. Here's the thing. I don't even practice yoga on the daily. I've just done it here or there, and I thoroughly enjoy it. Like, it is very calming and stretching, and it feels good, and it's actually like strength building too. Like, you can actually like build some really good what is it? It's kind of like calisthenics or whatever. Super good and healthy, mind, body, and soul. That being said, I don't use it every day. That being said, it's not evil. You know how many people I've heard, oh, yoga's evil, yoga's of the devil, yoga's of this, yoga's of that. Dude, it is yeah, so it's many other things. So I don't even want to get into it and butcher what the actual meaning of like yoga is supposed to be, because it's like way deeper and spiritual, as far as like meditation, breath work, connection, awareness, all wrapped into one. That being said, the way Americans use yoga, it's a freaking exercise, man. It is a stretching exercise that is good for you. I don't care how you look at it. I don't care if you're already skinny, if you're too big, if you're whatever it is. It is an exercise that is good for you. Period. End of story. I don't care how many times you call it evil. I don't care how many times you pull your kid out of fucking class because teachers are doing 5 minutes of yoga in the morning and you don't want your kid to be a part of that, so you pull your kid out of class. Like, it doesn't make it evil. Sorry to tell you, it does not. It doesn't. It doesn't make it evil just because you think it is, right? If the thought, the feeling, the emotion, and the energy behind it is loving, helping, benefiting, and wanting everyone to experience happiness, it's not evil. I don't care how you frame it, where you think it comes from, if you think it's freaking Satan disguising himself as an angel to trick you and then come back. No. Sorry, big emotions today, big feelings. It just does not work that way, dude. Like, yeah, so again, back to I guess if you wanted to go there, back to the tarot. Could there be some person who isn't a good person, somebody who is a narcissist, a sociopath, a psychopath, on that 10% spectrum that I talked about last episode? Yeah, could you have one of those who play with tarot cards? Yeah, you could. You absolutely could. That could be the outlier, just like I've said in everything. You have the outliers, right? 98% good, 2% outliers on either end of the spectrum. It's what works. So, could you have that type of person playing with tarot cards? So, and their intention is, I don't care about this person. I only want to benefit myself. I just want to get their money. I'm going to lie to them. I'm going to snake oil salesman them. It's not real. I don't really believe in these. Like, Yeah, you could totally do that. Like, right? You're not gonna fucking sell their soul or call on fucking anything or trap them in the cards to where you fucking curse them. No, they could be a fucking liar and not really do what they say, and they're just doing it to get your money because they don't care about you, right? That could happen, right? And it'll give you a weird, super icky feeling because the energetic exchange was not balanced. Doesn't mean they cursed you. Doesn't mean you got a fucking demon and now you're possessed and you're fucking. No, right? It felt weird because it wasn't real, because it was a snake oil salesman, because it was fake, because all they wanted was the money, right? The energetic exchange wasn't symbiotic. So both parties didn't leave equally energetic, right? Plain and simple. That's how this shit works. So that being said, I wanted to start with some of those smaller things, right, and lead up to the crescendo. Energy work, Reiki healing. I did an episode on it a few back. Go check it out, listen to it. I'm going to try and talk about it here and relate it to like Jesus, as far as like how since I've become a Reiki practitioner, my relationship with Jesus has exponentially freaking grown. Like, I feel closer to Jesus than ever. I feel like I finally understand everything that he's been trying to, or uh, open me up to, connect me to my whole life, the whole picture, right? We hear all these stories about him, but no offense, most people don't know him. Like, they don't know him. And I'm not saying like I know him, like we're homies, like, but no, like my relationship to me, I finally have a rock solid relationship with Jesus Christ that no one, nothing, no one in the world could break that knowing or that belief or whatever it is that I have found through doing all of my stuff, and like really came into it when I started becoming a Reiki practitioner. So I just want to lay that out there, off the frickin' rip before we get into this, because anybody saying anything about evil and this and that, it's like, okay. And here's the thing: when I was living a life of debauchery and fucking addiction and the whole just ickiness lifestyle, and my relationship with Christ was sparse or non-existent, if you want to call it. Like, yeah, I would try and talk to him, but did I really believe in it? Was I trying to dissect it? What, you know what I'm saying? So when I lived a life of debauchery, I had a very sparse relationship with Christ, right? Because here's the thing: he will not force himself into your life. He will not just like walk up in there and be like, hey, yo, I'm fucking Christ, I'm here. No, won't do that. That's not how free will works, right? That's how Satan works. Satan will fucking kick in the door and be like, hey, I'm here. I'm fucking disguised as some shit that you don't know or whatever it is, because I'm a forceful energy, because that's what the things say, right? Like, I'll force them back. Christ, free will, go back and read your own stories. So yeah, that's a fucking Satan thing, that when I was living that life of debauchery, if something would have forced its way into my life, that would have been very fucking strange, right? But no, this very sparse relationship that I had with Christ was because just that. I wasn't fully inviting him in. I didn't fucking know anything. I didn't know what I believed. I didn't know, any of it, right? So, just trying to like draw parallels or comparisons here. If all this shit is so evil, if Reiki is so evil, how come my relationship is fucking tighter than ever? Like, literally, when I started getting my life straight and getting sober from opiates, and I started becoming a better father, a better husband, a better person in general to want to be around, like a great, energetic, happy person to coach little kids, like sports teams and youth, and be a fucking a respectable person in the community. How come when all of those things start happening, and during that time I'm now like inviting Christ into my life, like, hey, I'm ready, like higher power, addiction, recovery, the whole thing, like I'm turning this shit over, like I'm ready, like help me out. How come in that moment when I clean my life up, and Reiki is part of that, and the relationship, and he was like finally like, oh yo, what up, I'm here, been waiting for this, and we've created a rock solid bond. um how come that is somehow evil? I guess, I mean, maybe that's a weird way to, I just don't even, it doesn't even make sense to me that when you're living a life of fucking debauchery, nobody will say anything about whether you know Christ or not. It's just a non-topic. But when you start to become a more loving, kind person, you literally try to be as Christ-like as you can. You try to embody his traits and his characteristics and his state of mind, whatever it is. When you try to become more like Christ, everything around you just starts to fucking dude, it is insane, right? So much to the point that the things around you will try telling you you don't know Christ. The Christ would never do that. This, they'll straight up try and tell you, like, as though they got Christ fucking locked away in their closet, fucking feeding them information only. Right there, you know what I'm saying? It's like, whoa, dude, it's my relationship with Christ. Like, I'm not saying you're, like, here's the thing, there's 8 billion people. There should be 8 billion different relationships with Christ, right? Either if you want one or not, right? I'm saying if you want one, you should have one. And it shouldn't look like anyone else's relationship with Christ. That's fucking plain and simple, cookie cutter. I don't care what all these fucking higher leaders, priests, Catholics, bishops, whatever, want to tell you. There is no cookie cutter method a to developing a testimony of Jesus Christ. It is a very, very, very personal, individual, authentically real experience that can only be observed and articulated from the individual, right? That's that. We can try and help people. We can try and um, by sharing our stories and how we came to our connection to the divine, to Christ, to source, to God, to the creator, to the whole, to the universe, to the field, to the Akashic records, whatever you want to call it, right? Um, we can try and share that perspective and that experience with people, so then they can relate it, learn from it, use it, or discard it if they so choose. But it should never be, hey, this is how I found Christ. Here's the book. Go find Christ. Nope, not it. Sorry, doesn't work that way. If it worked that way, sorry, we would have had a manual way simpler than the Bible a long time ago, right? There's a reason the Bible is written and riddled in metaphors. Oh yeah, that's the point I wanted to make, in case anybody tried saying, last time how I was talking about the Bible's like, all, you got to either take it all metaphorically or all literally. So yes, again, guys, oh guys, sucks. I hate that we have to freaking explain this, because everybody wants everything to be so black and white, but it's just not. Yes, I know there is a bunch of real life things that the Bible discusses, as far as like wars and kings and just different people of power and situations that were going on at the time, right? Those are like just to lay the background. You know what I'm saying? You have to, in order to put a reader back into that time frame in their mind, you have to create a reality, right? You can't just, oh, Jesus walked on water and it was all metaphor. No, you have to lay the background that, like, oh, hey, this was how people were. This is how people thought. This is what people were doing. This is the way every day-to-day life was operated. And then now here's these metaphors, so then they can make sense to people throughout every time frame, right? Um, so yeah. Where do I want to go? Man, I have to use the have to use the restroom really bad. I gotta pee, but I don't want to stop this because then I'm gonna lose my freaking spot and I'll have to go all over. I'm gonna try wrapping it up fairly soon, anyways. Hour and a half. I don't want to go past 2 hours on this topic. I'm all over, but so yeah, guys. Let's see. What else? What else? What else? Oh yeah. So um this is kind of off topic, but kind of on topic too, because again, connecting all the pieces and seeing how and why things would make sense. So, kind of just like how I was saying in the Bible, those real life things had to lay the backgrounds, the reality, so the reader knows what life was like in that time. So then the metaphors make sense. Fast forward to today's day and age, I think we're experiencing a very similar thing. So when you look at these things metaphorically, right, we're going to come back onto the topic of like Christ and what I believe in the Reiki healing and all that shit here in a minute. This is just a little sidebar. What Christ represented as a metaphor, right? I'm not saying that's all he was. I'm just saying that aspect of it. What Christ represented metaphorically, like as a state of mind, as a state of consciousness, as a way of becoming better than you were, a better, you know what I'm saying? All the things that came with that in order to, you know, change people's minds. It was like a because there was talks of this guy coming and there was rumors that he was being seen and this was happening forever before he actually came, right? Like we know that that's the landscape, that before Christ actually came there was rumors and sightings and prophecy and all that shit foretold about Christ, right? Then he comes, it's like, whoa, holy shit, to the people who were believers and already expecting it, it just solidified that even more. They knew their fucking intuitions and feelings were correct, and that was that. The people that didn't believe in him, it didn't change the fucking fact. Even when he would do miracles in front of them, it didn't change their mind because they were like, dude, I don't fucking believe in this guy or what he's saying or anything anyways. So even him watching, it's like watching a magic show. You can watch a magic show with like amazement and watch them do their shit and not even question it, and it's magic. Or you can be the guy fucking skeptical there and literally questioning it and calling it out. And no matter what, like, even if it really was fucking magic, you would find some way to, no, look, I seen that. You know what I'm saying? You're never going to change those people's minds. If you don't, that's why in the Santa Claus movie, the little elf says, seeing isn't believing, believing is seeing. It's because it's all mental. It starts in the mind first. The universe is mental. Consciousness is the fundamental thing. Everything comes out of consciousness. That's how you get everything out of nothing. That's how everybody always wonders, like, the Big Bang, oh, you got, that's a big leap to get to the Big Bang, but then everything else can fall out. No, not really. The Big Bang is turning on the lights. That's the human being. That's what I was talking about, the spark. Before anything else, there was thought. That's the Big Bang. Whoa, what the fuck is going on? Massive bang, the lights coming on, a mental explosion, a mental projection of everything that is ever known, before, present, future, you know, the alpha, the omega, the thought. So, um, so yeah, anyways, everything that was needed and that happened during that time frame, I believe we're witnessing. It's the same thing with these UFO sightings, right? Yeah, am I saying Jesus was a UFO or an alien? No. Again, why I even have to clarify that is like, it feels ridiculous to me, but I feel like if I don't clarify it, there's going to be somebody in the comments like, the fucking idiot thinks Jesus is an alien. It's like, oh, goodness, yeah. Right? It's crazy. But anyway, so no, I'm not saying that. But metaphorically, mentally, I think the UFO sightings do the same thing that all of the talks and the prophecy and the actual time frame of seeing Jesus did for them in our time, you know, because everything was a certain way in that time frame. As far as like life was a lot slower, no vehicles, no high speed technology, no fucking electromagnetic frequency, no hardcore food and water pollution, and not pollution as far as like our exhaust. I mean pollution as far as like people intentionally polluting our food and water with poisonous toxins. Um, you know what I'm saying? So their life was obviously not like that. Not I'm not saying everything was obviously good. You had Sodom and Gomorrah, right? There was a lot of debauchery. You did have, you know, drugs and alcohol, whatever you want to fucking call it. But you had life the way it was then. So this figure of Christ, this all powerful this thing, it was the thing, the symbol that was necessary to open everybody's minds, to get everybody, no matter what crazy shit you were doing, thinking, believing this or that, it got everybody, even if they disagreed, to all be talking about the same thing, right? Agree to disagree, but we're all talking about the same thing. It is opening our minds up to something bigger. It's connecting all these pieces, right? That is what the UFO things are doing right now. Like, here's the thing, I don't care if they're real, holographic, interdimensional, fucking the Pleiadians, the Greys, the Lemurians, like, don't care. And not like I'm like judging anybody that does care. Again, we all have our own areas of like fascination, and that's fucking cool as fuck if you're into that. That being said, I don't think any of that is necessary for what it is doing, because what it is doing, it is, no matter what anybody believes, religion, Jesus, different branches of religion, freaking just atheist, political, you know, just not even thinking about it, just going through life. It's getting everybody, no matter what you think, to think outside the fucking box, right? That, oh, maybe something else is going on. Just like Donald Hoffman says, maybe this really friendly user interface we have going on right now, maybe it is nothing like what's actually going on behind the scenes, right? Um, what that is, now that's where the fun begins. That's where we start, you know, tracing and tracking and trying to find out. That being said, the underlying fucking common denominator here is everybody getting on the same page and open minds opening up to, oh, the way we have thought and perceived and went about life as usual is much bigger. It's a much bigger fucking picture, right? That's what Christ did in those days. That's what the UFOs are doing nowadays. It is getting people to start to put aside your fucking differences and this and that, no matter what, right? And I'll just lay this out there. I don't think there's anything crazy going on with them. I think they're going to try and scare a bunch of people like, oh, aliens, look, attack. Oh, they're going to kill us. Oh, band together. Woohoo, we can all do it. Fight the aliens. And whatever crazy ass technology it is, like the drone technology, it's light years ahead. It's direct energy weapons. It's the shit that Nikola Tesla was talking about. It's the shit that all these whistleblowers are coming out on the Sean Ryan show talking about. You don't have a chance, right? If you have a direct energy beam weapon a mile in the sky, I don't care how many fucking AR-15s or AK-47s you throw at it, it is going to fucking melt and destroy everything in its fucking path that it wants to. So, um, that being said, I don't think whatever they are, like the legit ones, right? I'm not talking about the sneaky man-made shit that they just ain't telling us about. I'm talking about the legit unidentified ones that we don't know about, the ones people think fucking abducting them and this and that. Those, I think the main purpose of them is not to find out what's in there and back engineer it and what's going on and make, make peace and love throughout the cosmos. Like, no, I don't think that's what it is. I think it's literally just glitches in the fucking matrix, breaks in the fucking pattern recognition to draw awareness to, whoa, business isn't business as usual. Period. End of story, right? Um, so yeah, let's see. See what else. See what else. I'm gonna flip to a different note here because it might be. Oh yeah, this was gonna be. So yeah, guys. Um, Sorry, I gotta pee really bad and it's distracting me. I'm not good enough yet at this podcasting thing to know how to like stop and seamlessly come back and do it without a whole bunch of editing that I just don't want to do, but it may just come to that. We'll have to see. But anyways, guys, the reason for these big feelings and everything like that is because again, my feelings, my beliefs. I personally think Jesus was, I mean, you could call it this for lack of a better word, a Reiki healer, an energy healer, right? Obviously, I think he was much more than that and, was a very unique individual. And I'm not claiming to know everything about him, but like what I have come to understand and just all of his teachings and the way I see it, right? You could call it whatever you want, freaking healing the sick, the blind, whatever, leprosy, da da da, like energetic healing, right? This is going to be super triggering to some people and this and that, right? I just want to ask one question and want to see what responses come up in the comments. Where do y'all think Jesus went from the ages of 12 to 30? He disappears out of the Bible from the ages of 12 to 30. And I want to know what y'all think, right? Because you can find anything. That's the cool thing about the internet. You can find anything and everything. Anything from, it doesn't matter, period, end of story, to several different texts alluding to him possibly traveling around the Eastern world, India, Egypt, all over there, to learn and experience all these other cultures and healing modalities. Here's the thing. It really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things as far as like, where did he go and what exactly he was doing, right? The thing that I want to point out is the people who say it's not important, it doesn't matter, it just disappears because those times of his life weren't important. The whole point of his life was the birth and the resurrection, and so we don't need the whole middle chunk. That story, sorry, that's like the fucking the Egyptians built the pyramids rolling these fucking blocks on logs in the sand. It just falls flat on its face. It doesn't make any sense because, no offense, just like any human being, period, and especially if we're talking about one of the most famous, special, and credible individuals to ever fucking live, you're gonna tell me that the main years of this guy's life weren't important? What the fuck kind of sense is them? I don't care if you are a grocery store clerk in fucking Timbuktu fucking butthole, dude, and you're 33 years old and somebody comes into the store and they're like, "Oh, hey man, what's up? How's it going? What's your story? What's your whole deal?" And it's like, "Oh, I was just born and I played around until I was 12 and then yeah, now I'm here." And they're like, what the fuck? Okay, you were playing around at 12 and now you're here. How old are you? I'm 30. 30, okay. What the fuck happened to those 18 fucking years of your life? The main chunk. What the fuck that whole adolescence into adulthood growth period. What happened there, right? Like, why are you working at a grocery store? What infinite number of possibilities could have happened from 12 years old to 30 to land you here? Do you get where I'm going with this? That chunk of time in any person's life would be important. Period. End of story. So that argument of like, it doesn't matter, it was all about birth and resurrection, falls flat on its face. That's blind faith. That's literally just ignorance, not wanting to know. So here's, to get back onto that. I don't know. I can't say for sure what happened. Obviously, there's many a text, and some texts like people fucking say, yep, they're good. Some say no. It's all over the board, right? You have literally opinions from both fucking sides that, yeah, he traveled around, he did that shit. No, he didn't. Fucking didn't matter. So what I'm getting at is each individual thing that, we may never know exactly what he did. That's the whole point. We may never know exactly what he did. But we can, even not knowing what he did, we can still put an understanding that whatever he did must have been massively, massively important to the person he became in order to start doing the shit that he was doing when he comes back on the scene at 30, right? Just gonna lay that out there. Here's another little fucking fact that maybe some of you don't know, um, which just like is so freaking relatable. But obviously, Christ, again, one of the biggest people known to history. Everybody knows the things he did, the great miracles that he did. Well, it flat out states that basically, okay, how do I word it? Like, he couldn't perform the miracles in his own hometown because the belief was, this is just a regular dude, he's just a carpenter. Nobody believed that he was doing the things he said he was doing, right? So no matter how much he would show them or whatever, it would never change their mind. Back to the whole seeing isn't believing, believing is seeing thing. They had their thoughts, their closed minds already made up about who this person was, that nothing he could do would open their minds or persuade them. That being said, just outside the city limits and beyond, his miracles were observed, and it was crazy because the people that didn't know him, again, went into it one of two ways. Open-minded, hey, what is this? Let me experience it. Or, I hate it, unalive him, shut him up. We can't let that talk get out there and start empowering people that they are just as, special and powerful as Jesus Christ. Because again, he said it many times. You will do, or you can do all of these things and more. Again, he was not trying to create Christians. He was trying to create Christ, right? It's like when our special forces goes to do a fucking a guerrilla uprising warfare training thing, we send just a handful. We don't send a whole shitload of motherfuckers. We send a handful of our best tactical dudes, and we try and teach a handful of their dudes that know nothing, but teach them the shit that our guys know and more if they can. So then our guys can leave, and these people can now operate as a trained tactician, right? This is like Christ. You can do all of these things and more. Like any great leader in history does not want to create followers. Like they know that any great leader wants to create more leaders. So then they know that they can fall back on leadership if they need to, right? A leader that just wants to create a bunch of followers, that's called a fucking narcissistic, egoic maniac, right? That was not Christ. That's not what Christ was. It's not what he preached. It's not what he was about. Not what he said, literally. He's trying to create Christ, dude. Yeah. Where do I want to pivot from, and go from there? So yeah, we may not know all the things that he did. That's correct. But again, we should understand that whatever it was very crucial to the person that he comes back on the scene and starts becoming, right? Like, I'm just like wholehearted. Even if he didn't go traveling around, here's what I'm saying. Like, this is why I thought experiments are super fun, because then you can roll through these and be like, oh, whoa, okay, maybe that is how things went. So let's lay this out. Even if he never left and he was still in his hometown, right? And he was just like growing up and learning and doing his thing from 12 to 30. Whatever he would have been doing in his hometown would have been like massively what today we call like awakening, figuring yourself out, practicing all of the shit he was doing, articulating things the way he was. He would have been starting to meditate and embody the fucking, the healing techniques, the connection to the divine, the constant elevated state of awareness, right? That's what he would have been doing. No matter where he was doing it, no matter who he was learning it from, that is what he would have been doing. And it would have been super crucial to learn and to know that, right? Because here's the thing, if he wasn't doing that, if he was just doing regular old everyday stuff, uh, would he have come back on the scene right away at 30, instantly turning water into wine and healing shit? Yeah, who knows, right? Life does crazy things and we're a product of our environment, right? So maybe if Christ wasn't in an environment of constantly trying to become the person he was, would he have become that, right? It's just a question I'm posing out there. Thought thought experiments, they're fun, guys. So again, going down this and that, now that you know what I'm talking about, that sometimes it doesn't matter the specifics, but it matters why are they trying to fucking make it seem like there's nothing there, right? It just, like I said, go back to the pyramids. We were taught that these fucking slaves rolled them on logs, these freaking 200-ton blocks cut freaking 500 miles away to perfect precision were rolled there on these logs in the sand without fucking chipping them or damaging them or anything of the nature, man. It's like, I don't know how they were built. I don't, but I know that wasn't it, right? So, like, here's the thing. I've worked at a modern day mine with the best equipment that you can that dollars can pay for, millions of dollars for some of this equipment, and literally uh driving the shit underground, just driving it underground, fucking ripping things up and pulling it apart and taking it off, like you name it. So you're gonna tell me, and that's like with the best equipment, and supposedly we're smarter than they were back then. We're at the peak of our fucking species, right? That's debatable, but that's the that's the Darwinian evolution assumption, right? So how can a bunch of dudes today fuck shit up before it even enters, gets underground, but yet hundreds of thousands of workers all slabbing and pushing and pulling and rolling these motherfuckers across 500 miles of shit. They didn't fucking nick it or chip a corner like one time. Like they get there like, oh, fuck, dude, you chipped that. We got to go back 500 miles. It's going to take us another 7,000 years to get one block. Like, come on. It's like, you see how ridiculous some of this shit starts sounding when you fucking thought experiment it out and break it down. So yeah, that being said, sometimes not the specifics. It's wonder why they throw you off the specifics. So that being said, right? Like I've alluded to, my metaphysics, like I think consciousness is the fundamental thing. Consciousness is everything there is, and then everything comes out of consciousness, right? Like God, source, the universe, however you want to look at it. Consciousness, I look at it like this, like it's I think I described this last time, but it's a whole. It's like a olive. Call it the cosmic egg. The cosmic egg, God's egg, the fucking everything known to exist right here, right? Fractals itself into not infinite, but a very high number of fucking pieces, planets, stars, people, beings, birds, fucking microphones, you name it, just into everything there is in order to experience the creation from every perspective. What is it like to be in a reality and be a microphone? What's it like to be in a reality and be a book? What's it like to be a Ryan with these perspectives and these fucking thoughts? What's it like to be a John Doe or a this and or that or with that perspective? It is like God is the universe, consciousness, experiencing itself, its creation through every other fucking perspective in order to understand itself, because each individual person, each fucking skin suit, each conscious agent is constantly streaming data, information, feelings, thoughts, emotions, whatever it is, back into this collective fucking data source thing, right? It's like, if you think about it like a fucking honeybee and a hive mind, right? Like we are like the honeybees and this fucking, or bumblebees, whatever, a fucking hive mind. They're all like hived together. right? Technically, according to like science, whatever it is, physics, like bumblebees shouldn't even be allowed to fly. It like aerodynamically doesn't make sense, like if you look into it. But when these little bastards start vibrating their wings super fast, it now creates a resonant vibration in their hollow chest cavity that literally just allows them to like levitate. And now they become a conscious little individual and they can go wherever they want, right? They can freaking go over here, get pollen from this flower, right? And bring it back. Pollen from this flower, bring it back. Pollen from all over, all these flowers, they all bring it back to the collective hive that creates the freaking honey, the nectar, right? And each freaking pollen type creates different nectars. And that is how you, like, that is just a small little example of the bigger fucking show going on. Like, the whole collective, the queen bee, the consciousness has a direct connection to every other bee, to every other thing that is bringing the data, the information back, because it helps the collective. It betters the fucking collective, right? That's, oh man, it's so, again, it seems so simple to me, but not to everybody, not to everybody else. So we're trying to break down this. So anyways, guys, going down that road. So if everything, and like I said, I'm not the only one that thinks this. A lot of other people out there that can explain the fact that physicality, like this physical table, I don't want to make the annoying sound, I always do it on the thing, but this physical table, this thing, this wall, physicality that we see is an illusion, right? It's hard to like break that down and understand the paradox, but when you understand that everything are just atoms, you know, it's just a whole bunch of atoms made up, and atoms are just a whole bunch of like whatever, quarks, electrons, neutrons, all freaking going around. So basically an atom is 99% empty space. So there is literally like barely anything there. And if that's all we are, well, then everything is realistically 99% empty space. But we perceive it not like that, right? That is what the earth does. Like the aurora borealis that everybody sees, that's the electromagnetic field. You know, from outer space, we call it the Van Allen radiation belt. You know, the reason why, who knows who the fuck's actually getting out, if they are getting out, because the electromagnetic field around it is so dense. That's what it does. That's how it is meant to operate. As light particles come in from the outside, from the sun, the moon, whatever it is, as light particles come in and they hit our Earth's electromagnetic field, it now slows down the, you know, the light wave particles going super fast. It slows them down so consciousness can tune in with the antenna, with the receptor, with the brain, with the frequency. That's what the pineal gland does, and it's vibrating, right? It can now tune in to this and experience it, right? Just like Alan Watts talks about, and Terrence Howard alluded to this. Planets, people, right? It's like the same way you see a fucking an apple tree apples and an orange tree oranges. Earth peoples. That's what it does, right? It peoples. So you can call that a creator creating it. You can call it fucking whatever you want to call it, right? But it peoples. Like, even if our consciousness was not perceiving Earth at all, like we were doing all of our own shit on another planet and there was no consciousness in this fucking earthly realm, right? It would still people. There would still be fucking a bipedal hominid looking motherfucker like us walking around and doing its thing. Now, how it would interact and operate, I don't know. Would it be like an animal? Would it be like an NPC? Would it be like a robot? I don't know, because there's no consciousness there. I can't even fathom that experience. But the fucking fact of the matter is like, the planet peoples. Consciousness comes into the fucking planet and animates the bodies, the skin suits. We come into it. That is spirit coming into human form, right? That is, a lot of religions talk about, we come from the spiritual realm, we come into body, and then when we die, we go back to spiritual realm. Look at that however you want, call it whatever you want. Light wave particles come into this super dense electromagnetic field that is spinning and fucking, you know, vibrating at its own certain frequency that allows consciousness to slow down and observe and perceive reality the way that we do. Plain and simple, right? I guess not plain and simple, but uh that's kind of the fucking the short and dirty of what's going on. Again, hopefully you guys like this and understand. Sorry if I'm seeming super fidgety. I really gotta pee. I'm just trying to fucking tough it out and get through this. But again, guys, we can listen to like the super degreed people fucking talk about this all day. But if you can't relate it, if you can't integrate it, if you can't make sense of it, then what good is it? So that's I'm trying to be the filter in between those people and y'all and try to fucking, if I can, um, you know, shed the light on the areas of importance or on the things that will, if you research them further, will start opening your mind up to a whole new world of shit. So, yeah. So let's just think for 1 second that everything is fucking mental, right? That we create everything out of our mind. Let's just do a little thought experiment and think that, right? If that is the case, if we are literally projecting this reality, like whether consciously, subconsciously, take all that out. Just follow me for 1 minute that if that is how it goes, if the things that are going on in our mind are what project into our reality, so obviously the reality we experience would be everybody's collective projections, right? That's why some of us, and most of the time, most of it fits pretty good. But there's a few weird, wonky things that some of us believe that some of us else don't believe. And those things are like kind of hidden in reality. That's why you got to search them out because they're hidden within us, right? They're not the overlapping portion of our projected reality. So yeah, if that is what's going on, right? We're all sharing a shared projected reality that 95% overlaps, 5% gets fuzzy. We don't fucking worry about that. If that's the case, why would you want to imagine an apocalyptic, hellish, fucking nightmarish landscape, right? What else did yeah, why would you want to imagine that? If we knew that the universe was mental and projected like that, so literally all we had to do was change our mind to project something different. If we knew that, why would we want to project a hellish, nightmarish, horrible landscape, right? Well, I mean, I don't think you would want to do that if you knew that, right? So, I mean, if you don't want to do that, if you knew that, why would we want to do that if we didn't know that? If we don't know how it works, which that's the thing, we don't know how everything fully freaking works. So why would we want to, I guess, chance that, if you will? Why would we want to have those thoughts on our mind in case the one in a bajillion chance that is the way things go? Why would you want that? When you could, whether it does you any good or not, right? Like whether you don't know what's going to happen, why would you not want to imagine a better fucking, a better ending, a better reality, a better life model for what's going on? Right? I'm literally asking that question because I'm so curious because I get this yeah, what did I write here on this? Oh, but yeah, basically I just don't freaking get that, man. Like, I literally, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Again, nobody knows, and we're not sure why. So, why would you even, you get to, this is the one thing, that's the cool thing. Again, Joe Rogan, thanks for the quote. You know much about life as anybody who's ever existed, right? You get to create your own world model of what the fuck you think is going on in your head. Whether that is real or not, you get to do that. That's what people do. That's how we come up with dreams and goals and ambitions, right? We have things and everything we want to accomplish. In order to accomplish them, we need to do this and this and this. In order to do those things, it would be nice if the environment was like this, and this. It would be cool to get some success out of. That is what we're doing all the time, anyways. Whether it really is happening and manifesting and coming into reality doesn't matter. We are constantly trying to envision the future and fucking bring it into the now, right? So why would the future, like, you get to create whatever, you get to have your own visions, your own goal models, your own everything that you make up in your head. Why would you want to make it horrible, right? You can think that and believe it all you want, but why would you want anybody else to be like, oh, it's fucking apocalyptic and it's gonna end and it's this and that and it's blah, blah, blah. Like, why would you want that to happen? Like, even if you knew that was gonna happen, like, here's me, even if I knew for 100% fact that apocalyptic end was fucking nigh, I wouldn't want it to happen. I would be prepared for it. I would know it's coming. I wouldn't be in denial like, nope, if I think it's not coming, then it won't be here. No, I'm not talking about that. But I'm saying I wouldn't want it. It's just like dying. I'm not afraid of it, but I don't want it. Right? It's like, this is what people need to freaking, I guess, kind of understand, man. Like, if you don't want that world ever in any fathomable possibility, then just don't even think about it. Because here's the thing. If it's going to happen, well, then it's going to happen without us thinking about it, right? It's not going to need the mental projection, and it's just going to happen. And then we'll all freaking take it as it comes, right? But if under the fucking 1 in a million chance that isn't how it works, why would that be the case that you want? It just doesn't even fucking make sense to me, man. Like, you could imagine anything you want to imagine. Fucking, I'm gonna fucking race cars and I'm gonna become a baseball player, and freaking the president is actually the best person in the world, and when I die I'm going to a planet with fucking purple elephants. You could think that, and it wouldn't be any more far-fetched than some of the shit people believe now. Let's just put it that way. So, if you can think anything, why is there a rock solid core group of fucking people that have this apocalyptic end? Nope, doesn't matter. No matter what you do, it doesn't matter what church you join, doesn't matter what this and that, anything, unless it's this very specific set of fucking things you follow, you're not getting saved. The second coming isn't coming to you, and the rest of the world is gonna burn and pay for its horrible fucking debauchery. And that's their message, and that's what they try and put out to everybody. And even the own people who fucking believe and follow that, there's no good thing. They're even telling their own people, you're a fucking worthless sinner that owes everything they fucking do, every waking moment, over to Christ. You should literally wake up in the morning and just start fucking bowing down and praying to Christ 24/7 because you're a worthless sinner, and the only reason you're even alive is because he died for your sins, and now you have to suffer for them for 100 years or 80 years or 70 years, whatever it is, until you freaking die. And then hopefully you fucking followed that little set of everything correctly so you can have a glimmer of hope in the afterlife. Man, even if that is the way things are, I no. You get to think whatever you want. I ain't fucking thinking that. And here's the thing. Why would anybody that didn't want to think that, if we want to think that it's more peace, love, and positivity, knowing that there is a lot of fear and chaos and horrible shit that goes on, but rather than run from it, bring awareness to it and try to change, try to do what Gandhi said and become the change that we wish to see. Try and bring awareness to these things. Don't run from them. Face what we've been doing, but then understand in that's life, that's what happens, that there's no owner manual, that we are a civilization trying to figure it out, right? And that this is the best time ever to be alive. Amongst all the other things, the fear and the chaos, this is also the most loving, enlightening, best time to be alive as well. How come anybody with that message is like, cancel them, shut them up, don't let them tell anybody? You're supposed to hate yourself. You're supposed to look in the mirror and want to freaking, hurt yourself, unalive yourself, talk horrible to other people. You're supposed to just be miserable here in this existence until the afterlife. I just, that message doesn't compute with me. Again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't freaking, yeah, understand things right, but that just doesn't make sense to me, right? I believe that Christ doing what he did and the way he fucking carried that fucking cross up that hill and did what he did it so mankind could fucking live it up. Live life to the fullest. Experience everything there is to experience. Use your free will to the full extent, following the one universal law, unconditional love, right? Because anything that strays from unconditional love will lead to a whole rabbit hole of other shit, right? You could get lost in that forever as far as what you could do if you didn't have unconditional love. But right, that's that. Freaking have fun, experience unconditional love, and bam, because if you follow that, you will not harm anybody else in your path, right? It's like it's so simply easy that it's crazy. Like it's one of, what's that thing? It's so crazy it just might work. Fucking those things back in the day, you remember that? um yeah, guys, because again, kind of back to the whole thing, again, like incense, fucking tarot cards, breath work, whatever it is. All of these things, again, I don't want to talk about the outliers. I got to be careful how I word things. But most of the time, it isn't so much about what you do, but it's how you do it, dude. It is the intention that is behind it. Because the truth of the matter is there is, so that God egg, the cosmic egg source, the collective consciousness, 8 billion fucking human, maybe more, right? I'm just going based off of like the last number that I know on this earth, right? Who fucking knows what the hell's out there? But let's say 8 billion. So that means there should be, or could be, the possibility in the quantum fucking realm of um, probability, there could be 8 billion paths back to God, back to the whole, back to Christ, right? Because Christ was not separate. He was just God consciousness broke down into human form, right? So that's why the Father, Son, the Holy Ghost, it's all fucking one, the trifecta, the man, but it's all one being, right? There should be 8 billion ways back to him, or could be 8 billion ways back to him. Plain and simple, right? Does, like, I don't know how else to say that. It's the intention put behind it, because all those ways back to Christ, back to source, back to the whole, they could also be a path away from it. Just like everything is a spectrum, just two ends of that. If you do an experience in whatever path you choose to take back to the whole, you do it with the opposite intention of love. You do it with fear, with hate, with anger, with visceral. Well, then it's going to pull you further away from source, right? Like that's the whole point right there. It's intention. It's how we do it. Even a good thing that we know, like AKA religion is supposed to be the way back to Christ, for sure, right? That's the one thing that a lot of people can agree on. That all these other things we may not know about, but religion, you're supposed to be able to get back to Christ through religion. That's for sure. We know that, right? Well, guess what? Even religion, even Christianity could be anti-Christianity. See how that works? That's called the Antichrist. Oh, it's the opposite of Christ. It's the other end of the spectrum, right? That's if Jesus is unconditional love, Satan is fear. They're not two different things. They're on the same teeter-totter, the same fucking scale, right? So that would mean anybody experiencing Satan-like shit would be just somebody who is experiencing a whole lot of lack of love, right? Love of self, others, fucking everything around you. If you're at that end of the spectrum, all love is lost, right? So, how do you get back to that end of the spectrum? Incrementally doing loving things, right? Adds back up to the love end of the spectrum. It is opposite end of fear. Man, gonna try to slowly wrap this up here soon, hopefully you guys fucking stuck with me. Hopefully it's not too much of a rant. I'm trying to see what else. Yeah, basically, yeah, try to wrap this up and then I'm gonna fucking get on with my night, and I'll probably bring you more. We're probably just gonna keep this like religious Jesus thing kind of ongoing for a long time, right? But that said, guys, the shit that he was doing again, and I'm not comparing myself to Christ. There's many energy healers like me that I don't think they're comparing themselves to Christ, like what they were doing. This is exactly what Christ was doing. No, but the healing that Christ was doing was unheard of for the time, right? Like him being able to lay his hands on people and change their mindset and get them to heal themselves and or connect to a divine energy source greater than himself to help this person heal. Like that is still a very real thing that is going on today, right? And so when we're talking about healing, here's another one that I want to freaking point out there. I think it's in let me see, I think I do got the scripture on this one. Oh yeah, Luke 6:44. Um, how do I know Reiki isn't evil or it's the Satan doing it or this and that? Yeah, fucking right here. Where we at? Luke 6:44. Jesus says, "Each tree is recognized by its own fruit." Which is to say that if something is beneficial and helps some people, and those are the results are long lasting, is that as the healing people receive from Reiki, then it must be good and it must come from God, right? Because Satan never healed anyone. There's never find one phrase where Satan ever healed anyone ever. I don't it's nowhere in there. You won't find it, right? You can find many things where Satan may masquerade as something else, where he may present himself, where he may be deceptive and sneaky, but he doesn't heal, right? So based on that little in your own good book and thing and judging a tree by its fruits, what is actually going on when you go and experience? Here's the thing, guys. Just like I said, all of it is intention. So could there be energy healers out there that don't have your best intentions in mind? Well, yeah, that would be just like a doctor who doesn't care or have your best intentions in mind, that just wants your money. Oh, wait, that happens all the fucking time, right? There probably is some energy healers out there that don't have your best intentions, and who knows what could come out of it. Not even going to speculate because it's not my fucking area of give a fuck. That being said, most, and I do believe most, again, probably the couple outliers, but most fucking energy healers, practitioners, holistic healers, right? Like their fucking intention is good. It's good. It is loving. It is literally what I say to myself before I start every fucking Reiki session, just so you guys know, is thank you for allowing me to create a safe place for healing and feeling to take place. Why would anybody who's wanting to do anything bad or negative or harmful start out with, here's the thing, I'm not saying that to anybody else, nobody else knows this, right? This is like me, my intention behind the thing. Why would my intention be, let this place be safe, right, for healing and feeling? How come everything I do out of it is all from a place of, I want this person to feel as great as they can possibly feel. I want them to become the best person they can possibly become. I want them to feel like a fucking $1,000,000, right? And I want that to happen so much so that you realize you don't even need me. That after 1, 2, 3, whatever, if you want to keep coming back because you love the energetic exchange and it is symbiotic and it feels good, and to you it's like you would rather not go to the fucking movies, you would rather do a Reiki session, by all means fucking keep coming back. That's awesome. I fucking, self-care is a huge thing, right? Like, you guys are gonna find out, like, I'm ahead of the curve on this. Well, not me. There's a lot of us ahead of the curve on this, but energy cleansing is going to be the new showering for 2025. Like, mark my words. There's a t-shirt for you guys. Like, energy cleansing is going to become the fucking showering of 2025. Like, it will be it will be the number one hygiene thing being done in 2025 over brushing teeth, over showering, over wiping your ass. Guarantee there's going to be so many people just constantly fucking clearing energies, because we are now getting on, like, to the understanding, the reality that, oh, whether we see it as physical, this, that, like, everything is just the fucking energy. It is fucking energy in motion, right? It's either fucking static, kinetic, stored, blah, 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 like, whatever. Everything is just energy, and everything that interacts with each other, there is an energetic exchange. One of two things happens. It's either an opposite energetic exchange where one thing is above the other, or it's a symbiotic energy exchange where both energies simultaneously help each other. That is going to be that moving forward, and 2025. So yeah, guys, let's see. I'm not sure where else I was gonna go with that. But yeah, so back to the, like, the scripture thing. Satan never fucking healed, right? He could deceive, he could do all that shit, couldn't heal. The fucking, the message, the energetic exchange that I'm talking about, um, is this person, and it's very evident. Again, I don't keep, you can ask me when you come experience a Reiki session, you can come ask me anything. I will answer, and if I cannot answer, I will give you the reason why I can't answer and send you to where I think you can find the answer. There's no hidden secrets. There's no fucking, you have to not see what I do. There's no, none of that. It is as transparent as could be. The most fucking transparent thing ever. Literally, like, I will fucking train, like, literally for a fucking small fee, because you're gonna need to take up a couple of days of my fucking time. So there is gonna have to be a, a beneficial energetic exchange there. But that being said, I could teach you Reiki. Everybody can do this. Everybody in the world, right? So here's the thing. If it's so fucking evil, well, then you got it in you already, because everybody can do it. Everyone. You, him, her, everyone. Every one of us can do these things. Like, again, like I've been talking about, these emerging human traits are just coming online right now. And for some reason, there's a bunch of weird spiritual gatekeepers, and I call them spiritual guys because in my metaphysics, the way I see it, just like consciousness, I think everything starts in the spiritual realm, right? Then it trickles down to the physical realm, right? And then it goes into the mental realm. So mental, physical, spiritual, higher self, dense, lower self, right? What was I going to say? So yeah, so that being said, I'm a fucking open book. And so again, judging a tree by its fruit, is whoever you're going to, whatever they're doing, fucking massage, tarot, energy healing, breath work, a healing center, a psychedelic retreat. Are you dealing with somebody who is a spiritual gatekeeper? Are you dealing with somebody who is whether they're even a religious person. This could be like a priest, a bishop, a fucking Catholic priest in your fucking thing. Is this person a representation of, you have to basically come through me? I have a connection to the divine for sure. Your connections to the divine, I'm not so sure about. So you have to come through me, come tell me about your experience, and then I'll tell you if that experience is real or not, because my connection is fucking. Are you dealing with one of those, right? Or are you dealing with somebody who is flat out telling you, we all have a connection to the divine? All of us, whether you even want to think about it or not. Even if you are the most atheistic person that thinks nothing about the divine, you have a connection to it. Sorry, it's the way it is, right? It's like those things like the hardcore freaking abortionist, like, I didn't ask to be brought into this world, so I can do what I want. Here's the thing. You're right. Maybe you didn't ask for the fucking connection, but the way the fucking thing works, the way the programming works, the way the consciousness fucking reality works is you don't get a choice. You're fucking connected. You could dull that connection. You can fucking numb that connection. You can not even think about that connection. It can just be a fucking loose electrical wire that you don't even think of. It's just literally passing signals, and occasionally you're like, oh, why did I have that weird thought about something spiritual? Fuck it. You don't even have to think about it, but you have the fucking connection, right? So are you dealing with somebody that's like, hey, no, we all have the connection. Sorry, I'm here to tell you, your spiritual gatekeepers, they don't work. You have the connection. You have the connection. You have the connection. It's about finding and creating and making that connection, right? And here's the thing. There's no fucking two ways the same to make a connection. So the spiritual gatekeeper, that doesn't work, right? Again, even all of my stuff in my experience, I can try and help, I can try and inspire, I can lead a horse to the water, but I can't make it drink, kind of thing, right? I can't teach you anything that you don't already know. Like, everybody already knows everything. I'm not like that. That's not what it's about. Like, literally, it's about trying to show you that, hey, you already fucking know it. You just gotta you gotta quit listening to all those other people. Just experience it and find your way. Because that's what I'm saying. Some people are gonna connect really well and have like a crazy divine connection with what's going on, and like the tarot cards literally just match up and fucking speak to them every time. Like, it's insanely accurate. Or some people nail it with like astrology or numerology and synchronicities and pattern recognition. And it's like, that is their connection to the bigger thing going on, right? Some people do it through energy healing. Some people connect through plant medicines, freaking psychedelics, breath work, these torturous things that seemingly make us want to fucking hate the present moment, but because it opens our awareness and expands us to the bigger picture that, oh man, even fuck my suck. There's way suckier things out there. Like, when you're in a sucky situation, it makes you super grateful that your sucky situation is still better than fucking a lot of other sucky situations out there, right? That's how these things become connecting and opening, what people call a fucking Kundalini awakening. Joe Dispenza talking about bringing your heart and your mind together and becoming magnetic. That shit is real. It's real. It's a fucking connection. It's coming online, and everyone has it right now, man. And yeah, the spiritual gatekeeping is just not going to cut it anymore. Because like I said, I'm here to let the cat out of the bag that all of us can do these things. All right, guys. I'm sorry to freaking cut this short, but I have got to use the restroom so bad. So yeah, that's that. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. I know I had a blast. I'm going to be coming at you again this Sunday with some more spiritual talk. So let me know what you think about this one. Share this shit, spread it. If you like it, let me know what's up. Let's start the conversation. If you didn't like it, cool, that's great. Let me know. Move along. It's okay. Whatever's whatever. But the main fucking thing out of this, guys, fucking use your own eyes, your real eyes, to realize that there are some real lies coming out right now, right? You got to just go experience and do the shit for yourself. All of this shit in and at your own timing, and come to your own experiential proof, knowing, whatever the fuck you want to call it. and quit listening to the conjecture, the hearsay, the blind faith. Because there's a lot of just like, if you want to follow your fucking, you know, apocalyptic shit, how they say, when we get to the afterlife, there's going to be a whole bunch of people you didn't expect to be there and a whole bunch of people you thought would fucking be there that aren't there, right? Because right now in the day and age, it's all going to come down to real, recognizing real, and who is really trying to grow and evolve and experience the creation, and who is trying to stifle the creation, right? And there's a tons of ways to stifle it. There's a billion gajillion ways to like thrive and prosper and make the thing good. And the real adversary is the force that attacks and demonizes everything in its path that it doesn't understand, right? I don't understand tarot. It's evil. I don't understand fucking energy work. It's evil. Well, I don't understand that religion or that teaching, that culture, that tablet. I don't understand that science. Oh, it's evil. It's fucking evil, right? So it's super easy to throw that word around, guys. I want you guys to just start to wake up and become aware. Start to notice the fucking trees around you and what fruit are they bearing, right? Because right now there is a legit attack on my tree and the fruit that I'm bearing, and it's trying to be portrayed that Reiki is something that it's not. And I promise you, if you just come talk to me, ask me, let me know, like I'll probably even give you your first session for free just to experience it, right? Because I'm that confident that you will probably want to come back because you'll enjoy it that much. And if not, hey, okay, you don't, wasn't for you, cool, right on. Like it's that big of a deal, but we're just making such a thing. So yeah, when I got actual like church leaders trying to like warn their congregations that little old Ryan and his Reiki is some evil fucking thing, well, now it's time for me to start really like coming online and like fucking shining the light on the real snakes in the grass, and just showing people how, because I don't even understand, how can you become more loving, positive, open, and friendly. And that is the moment in which people I shouldn't even know are attacking me, calling me evil. Super crazy. I don't understand it. I don't even know who this person is, but they know me. And not only do they know me, but they are warning their whole congregation about me. So, again, just use your own eyes, your real eyes, to realize the real lies that are being told right now. Because I'm an open book. There ain't nothing to hide here, right? There's experience I can show you. We could do the whole freaking 9 yards. I'll lay it all out there for you. I got nothing to hide. So, all right, guys, on that note, I'm going to take off. Hopefully, this fucking episode didn't bore you too much. I'm going to be coming back on Sunday. And yeah, we might talk about some of that human design stuff, maybe a little more Christ. Christ is probably going to be just like in kind of like every topic. You know how I say everything, everywhere, all at once? I have a really good connection with Christ. Or, I believe me. Everybody else can think whatever they want. I believe I have a rock solid relationship with Christ. So I'm not ashamed to admit it, like, right? Or any of the things that I have come to learn and know. Like, I outgrew the church, but I did not outgrow Christ. Like, I grew into Christ. Like, he is this big umbrella that encompasses all this shit, right? And it tries to navigate you around him. But, like, when you open up your mind to the real shit he was doing, it's like, oh, you can outgrow the churches because he outgrew the churches. Hence, he didn't go in them. He flipped them over. But you can come into Christ without the church. So don't worry about that. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully you go have a killer Friday. And I will catch you next time on Wrong Side of the Tracks. Peace.